The FBI office in Phoenix sent out a memo to its agents last year specifically referencing QAnon and warning about conspiracy theory-driven domestic extremists. Since then, QAnon has only grown in popularity. There are millions of people who are members of QAnon groups on Facebook, and they are on the cusp of getting representation in the United States Congress. Media Matters reports that, quote, at least 14 candidates made it out of primaries onto the ballot in November or onto primary runoffs. And they include Marjorie Taylor Greene, who won the Republican primary in Georgia's 14th congressional district last night, earning a congratulatory tweet from President Trump himself. I want to turn now to someone who's been doing incredible reporting on QAnon, my colleague Brandy Zadrozny, reporter for NBC News, who dwells in this stuff so that we don't have to. But Brandy, I have to say, you and I have been talking about this for a couple of years, and I sort of take some satisfaction in the fact that you and Ben Collins live in this stuff so the rest of us don't have to worry about it, except you let it out. It is now not just in your swampy world in which you work. It is mainstreamed. This is not just on social media. This is not in the dark corners of the internet. There are 14 people who are running for Congress, many of whom may win.
Yeah, QAnon is no longer a part of the fringe. It is a mainstream political movement. It's terrifying. And, you know, what's been really interesting is that this week we had an investigation where we got some leaked documents from Facebook, and Facebook had an internal investigation where they were looking into QAnon on the platform. And from that leaked investigation, the preliminary results, we saw a scale that even frightened me. And this is, you know, the low guess of it, according to this investigation, is thousands of QAnon groups with millions, at least 3 million. That's the lowest estimate, at least 3 million members and followers. Now, that's terrifying. I belong to 100 of these groups personally, and I see the conspiracies and the violent rhetoric that these people traffic in. And it is terrifying to me that someone who even gives that a moment of consideration is going to be in the halls of Congress.
So you look to this woman who won her nomination last night. I mean, don't tell her there's a Muslim who's hosting MSNBC right now. But that kind of trope is old. To people who don't know about QAnon, they've got some crazy, far out, extreme, dangerous views.
Well, yeah, the whole notion of QAnon, the conspiracy theory, is based upon this idea that everyone in the Hollywood elite, from, you know, Tom Hanks to Kirstie Alley to literally everyone, to anyone who's eaten a slice of pizza, to all of the Democratic lawmakers from Hillary Clinton and John Podesta and Nancy Pelosi, are all trafficking children, and in some cases eating children. This is obviously insanity. And this idea that they have in their minds is that one day, because of a secret war that Donald Trump is waging against these child eaters and pedophiles, that they will, all of these people that they hate, all of their political enemies, will be marched into Guantanamo Bay and executed. That includes, by the way, probably you and me in the media, Allie. So this is not just a MAGA idea. This is not just a pro-Trump philosophy. This is a dangerous and violent conspiracy theory, which has, as we know, led to real world violence, including at least one murder.
Has the Republican Party had anything to say about this, that maybe they don't want these people running under their banner?
There have been a few Republicans that have come out and said QAnon is crazy. It shouldn't have any place in our party. And then when that happens, like today, our congressional nominee out of Georgia, she immediately jumped on this and said, how dare you attack me? You know, any Republican who attacks me is a rhino. And, you know, what's important to know here, too, is that a lot of the QAnon base, a lot of the QAnon believers are also evangelical Christians. So it is kind of a messianistic worldview and conspiracy. So a lot of those groups overlap. So which is what we might be seeing out of Greene, who's also a very conservative Christian. So that equals the Republican base. So while the Republican establishment might not ever come out and say, oh, yeah, QAnon sounds pretty legit. Maybe we should listen to it. If they go against QAnon, or if they come out and outright deny it or rebuke it, then what that does is it alienates a core portion of their base. Facebook has told us how large that group is, but these people have been people that have been consistently coming to Trump rallies and smaller GOP rallies for state lawmakers and for U.S. politicians on the state level. So we don't expect to hear anything about it soon from them.
Brandy, this is just wild. Honestly, I've been listening to you tell stories for the last few years, and this one is uniquely wild. I encourage you to follow Brandy on Twitter so that you can get up to speed on this. Brandy Zadrozny.